Alrighty, Jazz fans, we are back here for the second game of our doubleheader tonight. This is going to be the Jazz taking on Pacers Gaming. Earlier, we saw the Jazz take what ended up being, I believe, a 4-point loss to Pistons GT. A close game that really got derailed early by a first quarter meltdown from them. But after that, they played 3 good quarters of basketball. Riley, what are you looking for here in their second game against the Pacers?
Yeah, we got down early with a lot of turnovers coming up at the top of the key, where there's no one that can really get back. And so, but they really put something together in those last 3 quarters, and especially in that fourth quarter. I think when they're playing a little bit more with their backs to their wall, they're gonna do some better stuff. And so I think it's gonna be nice.
And you saw that first game that we saw a couple days ago against Bucks Gaming. They had that 5-out cooking. In the second game of their 5-out experiment, so to say, against the Pistons, it was a little hit or miss. You think they should stick with it, not even just in the end of the tip-off, but as we go into the further tourneys, or would you like to see him go back to that pick and roll with 3 on the inside?
I did really like what was happening because I feel like we were losing a little bit of Ria's involvement when we were going into that 5-out. And so I think getting him involved would be really, really nice as we start.
Yeah, I agree. I liked, and we're seeing them do it here early. They're going to that pick and roll, which I think is so good for them. And that's going to be Rec putting it away with 2 hands there. I like, even if he's on that popper, you can still run some pick and pop. We see the T-Wolves do it from time to time with Slaughter. It doesn't have to be that strict 5-out. It can still be getting Ria involved a lot, getting the ball in his hands, letting him set screens and pop and slip and do different things with it, where he doesn't just have to be standing in the corner.
Absolutely, and I think he's a better playmaker than he's showing when we're in that 5-out.
Yeah, I like the reads that he can make, and I like the cuts and all that good stuff that we see when he was on that inside. When he's in the 5-out just standing in the corner, you don't really get to utilize that. Kel tries to put it away over Jay Snaggs, but it's going to be a foul, and he's going to be going to the line for 2. Out of the corner, he doesn't really get to show off what he can do as a playmaker and as a scorer. It's more just catch and shoot and reset. So I think mixing in some P&R and then mixing in some 5-out, that'd be a better blend than just strictly going one or the other. I'm going to see Greenlight here, bringing it up the left, trying to get it down to Big Rain early. He gets it out to Chess, and Chess is no good on that 3. The Pacers generally don't miss 3s, and if you go down the metrics when you're talking about field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, offensive rebounds, assists, steals, everything, they're top 10 in just about every single category, and I think a lot of that comes back to their coach, Cody. He's been in the league for a few years. He's very established, and he has a good system that he runs, and they play pretty clean ball over there. It hasn't always translated to wins this season, but when you're looking on paper, it looks like they're doing everything right. Do you have anything as to why you think maybe the Pacers aren't putting it all together at the moment?
I think it's all about who you're playing, and it's all about your opponent. And I think with such close margins inside of this league, it's really just about who can string together runs at the right time of the game. And if they're not getting them at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I think that's been a problem for the Pacers with Cody. Overall, he's had a lot of talent come through. You had Raymond, you had Wolf there way earlier, and then now you have Greenlight coming through, and Big Rain and Chess and all these guys. It just seems like while they play solid, consistent ball, they don't make a lot of mistakes, they don't get those runs, and getting those runs, even if it's a smaller one that might be 6-0 or 8-0, stuff like that, that really swings the momentum of a game. Greenlight's going to put up a tough shot there, no good. So I think moving forward for this Pacers team, you're going to need to see them put more of those runs together, as they just got clobbered by the Warriors in their last game. Maybe they're coming out with more of a vengeance here.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're a little bit more demoralized from that Warriors team. That Warriors team is really, really good.
That's what we're all hoping for here as Jazz fans, as Kel gets another dunk to go. He has been virtually unstoppable getting to the rim since they've gone to this 5-out and putting Rhea on a shooter. It's just been a question of, can the other 4 people on the court get more involved? And it's not just hitting open shots. I mean, that's some of it, but just in general, when Kel has the ball, it feels like it's 4 people watching him play, and that gets very stagnant.
Yeah, and I understand why it's stagnant, because you don't want to be cutting underneath somebody that's as good as getting downhill as Kel's is, but I think there has to be some middle ground where you're getting some balance where everybody's touching the ball.
Yeah, when you see Rec with it, Rec is much more of a passer, even though he will still take some shots, as Rhea gets a nice offensive rebound and puts it back in. A lot more people touch the ball, and we saw some good stuff late in that Pistons game that we touched on, where the ball might go inside and then it comes back out, and now it's in the corner and now it's up top, and that makes the defense chase. Wow, and Charger doesn't get the steal, but Rhea gets the intimidation down low, and they make him miss the dunk. Just to wrap it up, I think that's what we need to see more of out of the Jazz when Kel has it, just swinging the ball more. It's not that he can't score, but it just gets very stagnant.
And you don't want to see stagnant. You just definitely don't want to see stagnant. And I think it's also a morale thing. When everyone's touching the ball, everyone's feeling good, and you get some better stuff.
Yeah, I think that helps you stay involved defensively too. When you're getting the ball on offense, even if they're not all scoring opportunities, it feels like you're in the game more. When Kel hasn't, you're just watching. It's hard to stay locked in on that other end, as we see almost a turnover there, but it's going to go back to the Jazz. It's easy to stay involved on defense. When you're getting some touches on offense, you feel like you're actually playing both ways.
1000%.
I see Rec bringing it up. He started being the ball handler early last game, then they went back to Kel for a while as Rec was kind of struggling. Late, Rec turned it on and started getting the ball more, just was not quite enough to beat the Pistons. Kel now getting it. Nice job on the crab, gets the midi to go. That was something we saw B-Rich do a couple times in the Pistons game, and I would like to see the Jazz do that more with Kel. Have him be the nade guy. When it gets late on the shot clock, trust that he's going to create something and maybe get a crab or make the defense help. Things like that get you extra possessions in the game, whether it be through buckets or through offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing this game out of Rec. It seems like he's being a little bit more patient. He's definitely being aggressive, but patient at the same time, and making sure that he's working inside of that middle to get those crab dribbles.
And that was a nice play there. It didn't fall, but that was a nice move. He gets to the midi, gets the crab, and puts it up. That's not a bad shot. It's unfortunate that he misses, and then the Pacers are able to answer with a fast break three. That's probably the number one thing that I think have hurt the Jazz. I mean, the turnovers, of course, that's what leads to it usually. But their fast break defense, Kaza gets a corner three to go. Their fast break defense hasn't been there. When you watch them play other teams and you watch other games, most teams have been doing a better job of getting back than we've seen out of the Jazz early in this season.
Absolutely, and that's the game. And transition is the game. It's the same in the NBA, and it's the same over here as well. It's just if you can get back on defense and stop those easy buckets, you can get wins a lot easier.
Yeah, and it doesn't particularly matter who's getting back. As long as somebody's back, you can foul, and then your whole team gets back on the reset on the inbounds. You just have to make sure someone's there to pick up a body and wrap them up to get the intentional foul off.
Absolutely.
We're going to see Rhea here. Sometimes off those inbounds, he looks to shoot. He's pump faking a couple times. He thought about it. He likes to get the defense backing up and pull it. Rec from way downtown. Nice three there. That was a nice job.
That's what we like to see. What we like to see.
We definitely like to see that. 16-15. Jazz, again, the offense is there. Now let's see if they can get some stops. Now Greenlight answers with a three of his own. That's 12%. That is a tough shot. Right with his defender on the side of him and then the back-end defender lurking, that's tough to pull that one with that much confidence.
Yeah, and you see his blinders badge popping up. He needed every bit of it right there.
And they are going to be able to rim that one home. It bounces off the rim for a second, but eventually falls in. Ties it back up at 18. These two teams are going back and forth. It's a lot better than what we saw in the first quarter of that Pistons game where they were kind of getting clobbered early. Now they are just going back and forth. We just need to see the defense step up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I like the intensity, though. It seems like they're coming out with a little bit more fire. They're being a little bit more decisive. I think they got a little bit more into the flow of the game with this one. It's looking good.
Yeah, you hope, all the jitters are out. You got the first game out of the way. You're a few games into the season. You got to come out hot. Rhea with the fadeaway, one-legged, no good, very early. There's no way he was expecting that animation out of that shot.
Yeah, you just can't. Sometimes 2K just does 2K things. And when you get that catch animation that has you fading and you think you're going to be stopped up.
And that's going to be another corner three for the Pacers. They've had a handful of those go early. I don't know what keeps happening on the Jazz defense. It looks like somebody's going down to stop the slip, and nobody's rotating out for that guy. You're not really helping the helper, and that's been hurting him. Kel, off balance. He gets it to go. I didn't know if it was going to count. He does. What an awkward animation, kind of fading back, but he gets the 7% to go. That's a nice one there. 8 for 11 for the Jazz, 9 for 13 for the Pacers. We've seen this since the Jazz have gone to the 5 out. It's not uncommon for them to score at will and then just let the other team do it right back.
Yeah, it's looking like a shootout. It looks like we got a good game on our hands, and I love how decisive they're being with some of these shots. Like that shot right there, he just stayed focused, watched his hand flick, and he got it in.
Yeah, that was a nice shot there from Kel. It's, again, we just need a couple of those stops. You see 2 steals from the Pacers, none for the Jazz. I think that's where they've been primarily lacking when they fall behind in games. They're not forcing those very, very valuable live ball turnovers. You see the great defenses get active. Even the Pistons did it last game. Those Wizards dynasty that they had, that's how they built it, was off of those steals, blocks, letting your team run, and picking up the pace in that way. And then when you get in the half court, running efficient sets. The Pacers have a couple here. The Pistons grabbed some on the Jazz in the last game. The Jazz not getting those steals early in games. It feels like it takes them a while to feel out teams.
Yeah, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, because there's in one sense you don't want to be going for steals that you can't get, but you also got to make some of these really good guards uncomfortable. And when they're up top, being able to just have carte blanche to go side to side, back and forth, it's going to be hard to guard.
Yeah, and the thing that I liked so much about the Jazz when they came back in that Pistons game was the way that everybody was active on defense. You saw Charger get maybe 2 or 3 steals, and they were all coming late in the game. He had a couple blocks. Rhea had a couple blocks. Kaze started blitzing people. Kel's over there playing his guy in the corner and guarding the hash a little bit. Stuff like that where they have to work harder. I just want to see more activity from the Jazz defense. And when they were winning games, like when they stole that game against the Mavs, it was because Kaze got so active on the press and on the blitzes and things like that to make defenses struggle, or to make offenses struggle more.
Absolutely, it's hard when you don't know what shot's coming, and being a little bit more unpredictable is really good on your defense. And I think if we can add that a little bit going into these next quarters, we're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, they have the playmakers defensively to do it. You have Rhea, who's an all-around menace. You have Charger, who plays very sound defense. Kaze is from threes from the stage. He knows how to guard guards on his own and make them think more. So I think I would like to see a little bit more aggression from this Jazz defense. Rely on those defensive instincts that these playmakers have, as you see a nice 3 there from Rec Combos. And he has been starting much better this game than we saw last game.
Totally, and you love to see them getting some good shots and putting them through.
I will see. Jay Snags, I think, has hit 3 or 4 threes. Rec caught jumping there. Chess perhaps not even prepared for it. He shoots an early on the jump shot. It's going to be Big Rain with the rebound. Now over to Greenlight. 6 seconds. They get Charger on the ball. 4 seconds. Chess trying to create something late, and it's going to be a 3 in the key. Big Rain and Jay Snags were both camping down low. They were hoping to get some shot up to get the offensive rebound. That was really sound defense. At one point, you saw Kel or whoever was guarding ball at the moment run over to the hash. Charger picks up ball and replaces him. That was just really sound rotations from the Jazz there.
Yeah, when we're suffocating on defense like that, and those gaps are just getting smaller and smaller, we're going to be a hard team to beat.
You saw Chess trying to get the nade, then they get it back to Greenlight, and they're swinging it around, and there really was just nothing. That's what we need to see more out of from the Jazz. Nice shot there from Rec, not getting it to go. Charger tipping it again. Even with adding the transition take foul, Charger is not shy about reaching off of rebounds and trying to get the early steals.
It's beautiful when you get it, but your whole team...
Rio with a big block. Wow. That was, coming out of the corner, we've seen Rhea do that a couple times, but getting the actual block over just hoping the anchor kind of makes the ball rim out, that's big time, and that means that you left at the right time and jumped at the right time, so that was a good play. Big Rain trying to put it over Charger. That's going to be a foul on Charger, and Big Rain will be going to the line for 2.
Yeah, big shout out to Rhea right now. In both these games, you've seen some, like you're talking about, just the way that his instinct of when he needs to leave that corner and go out to contest at the rim. It's been really, really good. And it's part of the reason why they made that run in those last quarters in the last game.
Yeah, and I'll tip my cap again to Rhea. Making a selfless move, switching to this popper, in all ways but shooting, it's a much worse build. You're way worse on defense. You're way worse at rebounding. You're worse at mashing. So, you do add the shooting and the spacing, which overall helps the team. And that one's going to rim out. Back to Rhea. He's trying to put it over the guard. No good. But he still has been able to make plays despite losing all of those different things by going to the popper.
Absolutely.
And again, you see a missed shot from Rhea from 3, trying to shoot it over range there. And then Chess out on the break, gets a corner 3. The Pacers, I don't know what the shot chart looks like, but I can tell you they've had probably 5 threes in the corners to start this game. They are just eating down there, and Rhea gets stuck in the paint. That's going to be a 3 in the key. It's going to be going back to the Pacers.
Yeah, it's tough. He was wide open down there. I think they just missed him. It was a little bit too late. He was expecting a dump off for a quick dunk.
Yeah, it's tough in those situations. You know, you're tempted to burn a timeout sometimes. Sometimes you want to save them, but he was thinking, I got to get the ball at some point, and that's going to be green light with another corner 3 for the Pacers. I mean, whatever is happening, whatever maybe the Pacers saw on film, they're exploiting it right now, going to the corners time and time again. And Range gets the blitz. It's going to go out of bounds. They say it hit off of Rec, and it's going back to the Pacers again. This is a mighty run they're on right now. The Jazz need to do something to stop it.
Yeah, no, I think it's just tightening the wheels on defense. So, you know, the defense is good. The defense is good, but I think we can get some turnovers and generate some stuff.
And there was a quick bucket. Sometimes it feels like for the Jazz, the defense is good until it isn't. Like, you're playing sound defense. Everything seems to be boxed up, and then it's like, wait, how did that get open? What happened? Just out of nowhere, sometimes it feels like they have breakdowns that lead to these open shots. As Rhea gets it down low, Swing gets a Charger. Charger gets a corner 3 of his own. They really are good until they're not. And I don't exactly know, without watching it back, what the issue is, but they just have these breakdowns at times that lead to easy shots, and it's killing them at the moment. That was a nice finish there inside. Charger maybe out of adrenaline or just didn't see the pass coming. They throw it right over his head and are able to dunk it. They're going to go to Kel in the 5-out, and it seems like teams have picked up on Kel's tendency. And that's another fast break 3. Kel, after setting the season record for points in a game, now, you know, it's not that he hasn't been efficient overall. He's still scoring, but that 5-out that we saw him cooking the Bucks with is not been there against the Pistons, and it's not there against the Pacers. Teams are learning how to get to that hand and poke the ball away, and that's Kaze finishing right over Big Rain. Wow, what a cut on the baseline. Back scratcher all the way over the big fella with takeover. Does not matter.
And that pass was just perfectly timed. Gave him just enough time to get up over him.
And those are tough to time sometimes, because if you hit them early, the defense has more time to get there. If you hit them late, they're stuck in a standing dunk or standing layup situation. They hit him just in time there where he got it on the run and could still do the driving dunk. Now Charger in the corner again. That's a 3. I mean, if they keep playing at this pace, one of these teams might put up 100.
That's what I want to see.
This is unbelievable. It is reminiscent of that Bucks game right now. Just with how they're all over it offensively. Both teams getting so many threes up. It's not the rim running that we usually see in these 5-outs. It's a lot of threes at the moment. Chess pops his badge, tries to let it go. That's way off. You know, I think he might have that range with the takeover, but not if you shoot it late. That's not going to go.
It's good. I hope his team is looking at him crazy right now.
That was, you know, it's kind of like one of those shots. Like, if you make it, you're really good. But if you miss it, everybody's thinking, what are you doing? And Rec Combos gets a 3 to go. That gets it down to 8.
Dang, good shot, man.
22 seconds left. We'll see if the Pacers hold for the last shot of the half. Looks like they're going to. They have Big Rain holding it. Chess still has that badge. You got to watch him if you're Kel. Now they have Kaze over on him. Greenlight tries to get the crab. They blitz him 5 seconds. 3 seconds. Can they get it down low to Charger? Rain caught reaching early. Charger puts it away. Cuts the lead to 6. And they're just going to hold it and take it to halftime. Nice play there. Jazz had a couple nice plays to close out that half and get it down to 6 after it was growing above 10 at one point.
Yeah, and I love the unselfish play right there. You know, he drove him. The defender at the front drove him straight into our guy. Got a good tip in, and then we're able to run on the break and get an easy dunk in transition.
Yeah, and that's what teams have been doing to Kel, is they're forcing him to that hash defender, and the hash defender's digging down and punching it away. So I'd like to see the Jazz do a little bit more of that. This box score is just crazy to look at. 16 for 23, 9 for 13 for the Pacers, 14 for 20, 7 for 9 for the Jazz. Neither team's missing, and the volume of threes, not just that they're shooting, but that they're making, you have to wonder if this is sustainable for another half.
And you know, I think it might be, because some of the shots they're getting aren't crazy shots. It's just a matter of making them in.
Yeah, going into halftime, I should say, you have to think the coaches on both sides are saying, listen, just cut a couple of those threes out. We can't give up a three. You know, half of their shots can't be a three. For the Pacers, it's over half. For the Jazz, it's exactly half. They can't get a three up every time wide open, and we just hope that they miss. So I think both coaches maybe will clamp down on that, and we'll see coming out of halftime if they give up more rim runs because they're more focused on stopping the threes.
Yeah, and this can 1,000% open it up for Kels. I think this could be a really really big half for him if he's able to capitalize on everybody leaning up on those threes and get some of them open lanes for some easy dunks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing that both teams focus on. It's going to be a 6-point game here going into the second half. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back in just about 4 minutes for the second half. We'll see if Jazz Gaming can mount the comeback. All right, and coming back a little bit early here, I was looking at scores around the league. That Nets Heat game, 28-21 at half. That's much more grinded out, about half the scoring. But looking at the Hornets versus Celtics, 47-34. That's more like what we're watching over here. Almost an identical score. Those teams letting it fly from three. You see 9 threes for the Hornets, 8 for the Celtics. So it's not just the Jazz that are struggling with stops. It's everybody. Everybody around the league, for the most part, since the 5 outs come around, hasn't really figured it out yet. You've seen some teams slow it down a tiny bit, but more or less it's just been scoring at will.
Yeah, and it's hard to guard when you got guys that can space the floor like that, and with especially with these poppers becoming more popular, it's just like at some point, are you giving up open lanes at the rim, or are you protecting the perimeter? And so
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes in that second half.
it definitely feels like a pick your poison thing when there's this much talent as Chess goes for the dunk stick, swinging on the rim. He puts it away. I don't think the sharp badge does that, but he still is able to get it to fall. Yeah, it feels like pick your poison. You got too much talent on the court. Somebody's going to get open when there's 5 guys at the perimeter. Kaze answers with the reverse slam of his own the other way. Now
That
Chess,
was nice. He's timing those cuts perfectly.
so good, and the pass is coming just at the right time. Chess has a little bit of take left. We're going to see if he can get a shot up. I know some of it burned at half. He gets a standing dunk up again, and it might be what we mentioned where the teams are so locked in on getting stopping those threes like we saw in the first half that we're just seeing free rim runs nonstop. That might, we'll see if they change again, start giving up more threes, but at the moment, a lot of lanes to the rim. And that's going to be taken away. Kel tries to get to the rim. Too many bodies down there. Rec fouls, and it is going to be a take foul. That was, I will say, almost textbook as to what the foul was trying to stop when they implemented it. The guy crossing half court, nobody really back to do something, and Kel just wraps him up. Or Rec combos wraps him up.
That's the spirit of the rule. I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, they that one they might put in the 2K League rulebook there as to this is what we need to call when we're looking for the take foul, and that is going to be Chess's badge gone. See if he can earn it again, maybe. He's going back to the rim. Tried the dunk stick again. He gets thrown out of it, still makes the layup. It's plays like that that have to be frustrating for the Jazz.
Yeah, and we're gonna need a little bit from Kel, to see a little bit of the same getting to the rim, and there we get it.
And that's going to be a dunk there over Big Rain, swinging late. We haven't seen as many dunk sticks out of the Jazz or Kel. In the first few games, Kel was going crazy with them, trying to do it all the time. Since then, I don't think he's broken it out once, and it might be for the better with the way that they're dunking the ball. There might be no dunk stick needed. A little bit of sloppy play there from both sides. We saw a turnover, one from each side, and it's going to end up with the Pacers with the ball. Chess with the pull-up three, no good. Rhea can't get the rebound. That's Range coming out of the corner for it. Almost a scary pass, but they do get it to Chess. 6 seconds. Had the slip. He throws it to the corner instead, and Jay Snaggs shoots over the guard again. Jay Snaggs, I mean, this is like a Kevin Love or something type performance. The ultimate stretch big right now. They keep going to him, and that's a pluck and team takeover for the Pacers. The Jazz might have to put someone else on Jay Snaggs right now with the way that he's shooting over the guard.
Yeah, some way we're gonna have to contain him because he's getting those open shots when he's right in front of him.
Yeah, I think, and we'll see if this was just this possession or an every possession thing. They have Rhea over on Jay Snaggs, and they put Rec combos on Range. And it's not to say that Range can't necessarily shoot over the guard, but we haven't seen it yet. I don't think he even has a three-point attempt, so that might be better. At least make him do it a couple times, and then if he's doing it too, then we might be in real trouble. It is going to be a foul for Jay Snaggs. Down 14, they have team take. Team take doesn't last all that long in the 2K League, so if you can just get through about a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe, and keep the lead at 14, don't let it grow, that might be considered a win as you're trying to weather the storm.
Yeah, you can't be mad at that shot. I know I want them to be patient because they have that team take, but if you can't pass up as good of a shot as that.
Yeah, you get something like that. I like him shooting it. Just in these type of games, you can't be missing. Jay Snaggs, again, they are feeding him in that corner. Big Rain with the glass cleaning takeover, gets the rebound, puts it back in. But, I mean, you don't see many corner people get as many touches as Jay Snaggs has gotten in this game. That might be like his 7th three-pointer attempted. And that's going to be picked off. Big Rain comes across. He steals it. He's pushing it, moving fast with the takeover. He does finally pick it up. And he's going to look for a reset. Does finally get it to Greenlight. He has both play and sharp badge. Didn't want to shoot that one, though. And there goes the team take. 16-point lead. So the lead only grew by 2. You weathered the storm, but you need to now start coming back in the game. That's no good. Rhea with the rebound. He sends it all the way down to Kel. And they do foul on the break there. Doing a good job by the Pacers. They're getting back. They're going to force the Jazz to come back in this game through their half-court offense.
And, that's been a pain point for us so far, so we're going to have to see how we can get some good shots out of this.
Rec combos. Asking for the screen again. Rhea quick slips it. Gets it to Charger in the corner. Nice read, nice pass, and a nice shot. That was all around good. I think Rec saw something when Rhea slipped originally. called for him to come back up and quick slip and then dotted the corner.
Yeah, it's really a chess match right there. You know, you you're playing with that backside defender to see whether he's going to help on the dive or if he's going to stick it to the corner, and he's got to pick the right one.
And that's unfortunate for the Jazz. Not a great take by Greenlight, but Charger gets thrown into a bad foul animation, and it's going to send Greenlight to the line for 2. He played that pretty well. Greenlight went up with his right hand with Charger right there, but just a bad animation for him. Greenlight gets the free throws to go. 15-point game. Just like the Pistons game that they almost came back in, it's just about getting yourself in a spot to come back in the fourth. You don't need it all right now, but you got to make sure it's closer than this going into the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Maybe thought about Rhea on the slip, doesn't throw it. Rhea's going to come back up. Jason Aggs jumping way out of the play. Rec Combos gets it poked away by Big Rain. I don't know if he blocked it or just scared him a little bit, but it's not going to fall regardless. And that's Kaze with the blitz. Nice job bringing the defender out. Charger wants the 3 over to Kel. Getting maybe a little greedy there. That was an 8% contested, but they do get rewarded with 3 points. That was a questionable decision by Charger, I think, on the break.
Hey, but you got to love when you trust their teammates.
Yeah, I mean, a great shot by Kel, perhaps even bailing him out. Charger should have kicked it ahead a little earlier, but they still get the dunk, and now it's down to 10. 2 nice plays by the Pacers, or by the Jazz, sorry, and they get the fast break buckets out of it.
No, and I really like to see that. And, you know, all of those plays were really coming out of, like, chess-style plays. You know, it was, where is this guy about to go? Are we going to cut off the baseline, or are we going to cut off the middle? And he cut off that baseline, got it up the floor. And even though that 3 may have been a little bit questionable when you're down like you are, sometimes you got to take those chances to make a comeback.
And when they're shooting the way that they are, 9 for 12 currently, I can't hate them putting up any threes. The Pacers have really cooled off at the moment. They were shooting something like 9 for 10. It felt like at halftime. They're 10 for 18 right now. Jason Aggs still 4 for 5, but I think they're going to make an adjustment, put someone different on him so that he can't keep shooting over the guard. And we'll see if that slows down that Pacers offense that's been finding holes and getting threes up consistently.
Yeah, and I want to give some credit to the Jazz in that last little stretch. You know, they were getting to a lot of those spots before they could, like, disrupting the pass before it could even get to those shooters, and I think that really helped them because even though when guys were getting open, the ball handler was all out of sorts.
Yeah, the big thing, like you mentioned, even if somebody's open, if the ball handler is worried about looking at himself, making sure he's not going to get blitzed or anything like that, he can't read the court as well, and that was something we saw really good there out of Kaze, out of Kel, putting pressure on the ball handler as Big Rain puts it away right over Rhea. But I want to see more pressure on the ball handler, make him look at his guy instead of just looking up and reading the court and finding openings. Rec Combos gets by, walks it back out, gets the second crab, and that's no good. That's a tough one for Rekka. Great shot. Rhea with the over-the-shoulder steal going down the court. He's going to kick it out to Kaze. Kaze, defender jumping, late open. That's 2 misses for the Jazz to close out what looked originally to be a decent quarter after they got away from that Pacers team takeover.
And it's the fourth quarter. Everything happens here. So if we put some stuff together, keep some of this defensive prowess that we've had at the end, and then knock down some of those open shots, we're going to be in a good spot and get that win.
The thing that's sticking out right now, for me, is Range with 5 steals. 0 shot attempts, 5 steals. This is like a Tony Allen game or something. The guy doesn't care about offense at all. He has 1 rebound, 1 assist. It's the 5 steals for him. The Jazz as a team only have 5 steals, and I felt like in the third quarter, they were playing great defense overall when you're talking about getting those turnovers, but they were just giving them right back a lot of times and letting the Pacers run and score in transition.
Yeah, and it's a similar story as the last game. You know, if I'm looking at the box score, they're just getting out more shots than us right now. And when it's a numbers game and you're taking less shots than the other team, it's hard to win. But I think we have a chance if we can force some turnovers and get some quick buckets.
Yeah, definitely have a chance. When the 2 offenses are cooking like this, it might just be the team with more shots wins because it feels like almost every shot goes in both ways. Both teams are getting open, and both teams are making practically everything. So, like you mentioned, it's just about evening out that field goal attempts a little bit there, and I think that could be the difference. The Jazz have to come out here on fire, play with that intensity that we've seen from time to time, and then hold it for the whole quarter. They did it with the Pistons, almost came back. A couple things didn't go their way. this isn't a game that's out of reach, especially with how they're shooting. I just want to see some more defensive intensity, especially up top, trying to get Greenlight and Chess in some trouble.
Yeah, and I think we had our best possessions when we were doing that, and we were getting up into Greenlight and making sure that he wasn't comfortable to make all these plays.
That's a great shot by Rhea. He looks for that a lot. You know, they use him as a reset, as most teams do with their bigs. But when you're on that popper, a lot of times the back end guy wants to back off to try to play a cut or something, and he's able to get the shot up. Kel with a nice steal. He's going to get it down to Kaze. And just like I said, coming out with some intensity, that's 5 points in under 30 seconds for the Jazz.
You love to see it. You love to see it when we're getting out in transition. We're a really, really good team.
That was 2 great plays. Rhea gets a quick 3 off the reset. And Kaze or Kel, whoever it was, with that blitz and then scoring in transition. I think it might have been Kel. Charger caught jumping all over the place. He finally gets back. Kel with another blitz. Something we saw earlier in the season from Kel was a lot of blitzing and picking it off, and then they're going to turn it back over. Now that's a little disheartening. But I like that Kel is going back to what worked for him early in the season. He's so good at knowing when when ball handlers are going to cross over, being a guard himself. He's able to beat them to the spot and get those steals. I want to see more of that from him.
Yeah, and if you're just clicking that steal button right after they're making that crossover, it's almost a steal every time. So once you figured out the timing like Kel's had, then you're really in a good spot.
And a standing dunk there for Chess. Those ones always hurt. It feels like a little man shouldn't be able to go up, among the trees and standing dunk like that, but we see it over and over again in the league. It's just something that build can do. Rec combos over the middle, has Kel with the crab. And that's a great shot. Charger with a nice rebound, trying to get it back to Kel. He does, and they're going to foul. I like the quick trigger there from Kel. The defender was behind him just a little bit. As soon as he caught it, he put it up. We just need a couple of those to fall in this fourth quarter, and they're right back in the game.
Absolutely.
And that's Range reaching out of the play. Now that's Jay Snags jumping out of the play. Rec with a nice shot on an open. Rhea says, I'll do it myself. Gets the rebound in the reverse slam. Pacers playing a little crazy on defense right now, not in a good way. They gave up 2 crabs there, an open fade. It felt like a lot of people were just flying all over the court and getting out of position.
And Rhea was just really smart there. He just stayed on that inside legs to make sure that once that ball came off the rim, he was going to be right there in a good position for the rebound to set him up for the easy bucket.
Yeah, no matter which way the ball went pretty much there, it felt like Rhea was going to have it. As we see Big Rain get an offensive rebound, doing a similar thing. Range, I will note there, had an open shot over the guard like Jay Snags was doing, but missed it. So maybe the switch of putting Rec onto Range and making him shoot over the guard is the move. Greenlight had a crab, didn't like it. He's going to draw the foul again, and that is Chargers' 6th foul, so that will be a technical free throw, plus the free throws for the foul, and I think they might even get the ball back. That's so unfortunate for the Jazz because Charger did the right thing there. Greenlight went up with a tomahawk, and then he makes a 40% free throw. I mean, they really are not catching a break right now. Charger goes up with the tomahawk, or Greenlight goes up with the tomahawk, and Charger blocks it, but they say he got a little bit of the arm too.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's the play you got to make. And if you give him a free reign, we're like, why didn't he jump?
Exactly. I think that really should have been a block. I liked the play by Charger. Just 2K was not, not messing with him at that point. And that's going to be Kel going for a quick dunk. Still 8 points, even after that unlucky play from Charger. We'll see how he plays now with 6 fouls. You don't want to keep letting him just walk to the line. Greenlight in a scary spot. Kaze almost makes him put it down. Now he's tired. Kaze, I think, made it there. No, he did not, but Greenlight misses. Tough to time the jumpers when you're tired, and like you mentioned earlier, the green window just gets smaller and smaller as you get more tired.
Yeah, it's hard to hit those threes when you're making a bunch of dribble moves at the top. It was one of the best updates to 2K this year. It really prevented people from going side to side so much.
Yeah, you see a lot more resetting and working with the 2-guard this year with the way the stamina system's been reworked as Kel rises up and puts it away with 2 hands. Big Rain tried to get in there to help, and Kel basically sealed him off with that 2-handed dunk.
Yeah, he's just too little, man. Too little.
See Chess taking the ball now. He's trying to get it down to Rain. Rhea gets pushed out. And that's just kind of an unfortunate thing that happens sometimes in 2K. When you get that body connection, when they pass it off, your guy just goes flying, and Rhea got sent out of bounds there, and it let Big Rain dunk it home. Kaze in the corner with green light on him. He's looking to reset, and he does. Combo sizing up, pulling back. Crossover. Almost gets blitz. Euros. Oh, that was not a great Euro by him. He had the dunk.
Yeah, it's a tough animation. You don't know what you're going to get until after you get out and pick up the ball.
Once he put it up on that right side, that was I knew it was not going to be going well unless something lucky happened. Now Chess trying to go down low and mash. He gets it out to green light. 4 seconds. Big Rain comes up for the screen. They shouldn't be in a spot for the offensive rebound, and they're not. That allows Rhea to get it. 8 points, under 2 minutes. Jazz just have to make sure they're getting buckets now. That was their back end. Jay Snags flying out of the play. Rhea perhaps should have slipped, but he didn't. Now Cal over to Charger. They should have had something open there with Jay Snags going all the way back court, but they weren't able to do anything with it. Over to Charger again. Charger had the lane, didn't take it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Rhea going to try to shoot over range. No good. Jazz had a lot of openings there. Did not get anything out of it.
That's a tough possession because there were just so many open shots, but they were just for fractions of a second, so you just got to be ready to pull them.
Yeah, between, a couple threes and then a lot of rim runs, it felt like the Jazz were looking to, maybe dot somebody for a 3, but a lot of times the guy with the ball was the one open. Trying to get out to range now, and that goes, and that's just the game we play now with how tall locks are and how short guards are. Rec was right on him, but he kind of got caught on the side just a tiny bit, and that's all it took for that shot to be open. Rhea thought maybe the ball would go to the corner, maybe Kel would shoot it, maybe he'd get it down low. None of those happened, and he picks up a 3 in the key. You don't want to burn a timeout when you only have 2 left, but you might have needed to there.
Yeah, it's tough, and Rhea's been playing a really great game. I've loved what he's done, especially on the defensive end, but he's got to get out of the paint on that one.
He tried to jump the lane there, and he didn't get it. Now he's going to try to block it, and Big Rain puts it away. 13-point game with 40 seconds. It's going to take all but a miracle to come back in this one for the Jazz. Cal open, didn't shoot it. Gets the defender jumping. He's going to take his 2. Big Rain stops him from getting it. They try to get it out to Kaze. Not able to. Now it's going to be Rhea down low. Rhea pump fake it twice. Hits the wrong corner. And that's a turnover. That's a tough one there. They had a lot open and didn't do anything with it. Now Big Rain puts it away. 15-point game. 19.8 seconds for the Jazz. And sadly, it looks like they'll be walking away 0-2 today. They really battled for a while, and they battled in the Pistons game too. They just, when it really came to winning time in the fourth quarter, they had chances to come back, and they just didn't make the necessary plays.
Yeah, and in a game like that where it's a shootout, the second someone lets up, it's going to be tough to win.
Yeah, it felt like, the Jazz had only a couple plays where you don't score, and then all of a sudden that's a 3 on the break and another 3, and then they get a steal, and that's a 3, and it's like, wait, this was just a 6-point game. How are we down 15?
Fast-paced game. Super fast-paced game.
Yeah, playing at this pace is crazy. The Jazz offense, it's just the turnovers. I was talking about they need more steals. Well, you see Kel with 4, Kaze with 1, Rhea with 2. They got the steals this game. They just gave them back too often. It's going to be really tough to ever win a game in the 2K League when you have 13 turnovers, even with how efficient their offense was.
Yeah, 13 turnovers is just too many, and they'll be able to shore that up over the week, but it's gonna be tough to win games like that.
And you can't really point the finger at any person and say this is the reason we lost. Rec Combos took a lot of good shots. He has 4 turnovers. He still has the 13 and 7. Kel really good on offense, but then he has 4 turnovers. You saw Charger pick up his 6th foul. Kaze only with 1 steal. Rhea overall 7, 5, 3, 2, 1, did a little bit of everything. He has 4 turnovers, so everybody has some things that they can clean up going into their next game.
Yeah, and I think it's just a continuity thing. It's about knowing where guys are going to be. And if you know where those guys are going to be, then you can be more confident in throwing some of those passes and making sure that you're not over-dribbling or under-dribbling in a lot of these cases.
And they are going to put it up at the buzzer. That's no good. It will be a 15-point defeat here for Jazz Gaming. Pacers Gaming walks away today 1-1. Jazz walk away 0-2 after falling to the Pistons by 4 and the Pacers by 15 here. Any last takeaways, Riley, on today's games?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that were positive that we can take away from this, and also some things that we need to shore up. The first thing is, I think Rhea as a defender, even with this new build, I think the instincts are taking over and helping a lot in some of those spacing things. But in terms of how we're going to formulate some more wins, I think it's just about keeping the turnovers down and streaming together some more runs. And if we can do that, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, overall the offense is way up since they've switched to this 5-out. The problem is the defense is also now lagging behind. So I liked what I saw late in this game and late in the Pistons game where they're taking those chances. You saw Kaze being aggressive and Kel being aggressive and then letting Charger and Rhea play off of that. So I'm hoping that moving forward as we go into next week and all that good stuff that they say, listen, let's play more free on defense. Let's force the playmakers on the other side to make these tough reads and let our really good front court make some plays behind you guys.
Totally agree.
All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up here for Jazz Gaming today. I appreciate everyone who stopped by. It was 2 good games overall, and we will be back, I believe, sometime next week for the Jazz's next game. Make sure you check out the 2K League on Twitter. Check out Utah Jazz Gaming on Twitter. And we'll keep you posted with all that good stuff throughout the week.